We've got breaking news coming in that from Basirhat Dakshin, the assembly constituency in West Bengal, the BJP has won. Remember, this is where the Trinamool was leading for most parts. Basirhat is one area where the BJP had led in the Lok Sabha elections in May. They've now been able to hold on to the leads, making a late comeback to open their account in the West Bengal Assembly. Significant, Javed, because of the fact that the BJP has traditionally been very weak. At a time when Mamata Banerjee is facing the heat over the Sarda scam, does this give the BJP a toehold of an opportunity in the state?
It certainly does. It's a very significant win, and it lends credence to what people have believed and speculated about in the past, that it's the BJP now which is breathing down Mamata's neck. It's the BJP that TMC has to contend with, and not the left and the Congress party. The Congress is playing catch up. The left is still to come out from the defeat that they've suffered at the hands of TMC, and it's now the BJP which is fast encroaching on filling that vacuum which has been created by the decimation of both the left as well as the Congress party. And this Mamata has to reckon with. Mamata perhaps realized, and that's why she's talking about the fact that she's also open to the possibility of some kind of an arrangement with even the Congress and the left parties. For Mamata to even admit to such kind of possibility certainly indicates that the BJP is really breathing down her neck, and she has to contend with in the future.
But the reality, Dr. Lahiri, of West Bengal politics is that apart from the urban pockets, and especially the Hindi-speaking urban pockets that are joining Bihar, as you move further up Bengal, the BJP's presence is that much lesser. Is this whole notion of the BJP over a period of time emerging as the principal opponent of the Trinamool more of a pipe dream, given how organizationally weak they are in the state at this time?
You're right. Organizationally, although Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, the first president of the Jansangh, was from Bengal, BJP didn't have much of a presence in West Bengal. However, there's an opportunity that BJP has, particularly because the CPM has been decimated. So the opposition to the TMC is basically by the BJP. Furthermore, don't forget, West Bengal is a border state. And there is this issue of immigrants, which rightly or wrongly has been played up. That has been a major issue. And West Bengal, I think what we are seeing is that if not the CPM, who as opposition? And BJP has smelled an opportunity. And I think what we are seeing is actually we saw it in 2014 Lok Sabha elections. The proportion of votes that the BJP ever got was the highest in 2014.
And Amit Shah's big regret is that they didn't work hard enough in West Bengal. He says that they didn't realize how much of a groundswell there was in favor of Modi, which could have been capitalized on. They ignored the state, and despite that did reasonably well. I must also tell our viewers that in Chaurangi, the other bipole seat in West Bengal, the TMC is leading after 12 rounds of polling. But the big story, of course, the fact that in Basirhat Dakshin, Shamik Bhattacharjee of the BJP has won, and that is a big victory, Indrajit Kundu, for the BJP.
You must remember that Basirhat, the MLA who died, belonged to the CPM. So it's the CPM seat which is going straight to BJP rather than to TMC. That's an important point.
What's the BJP and what is the Trinamool making, Indrajit Kundu, who's joining us from Chaurangi this morning, of this big victory for the BJP?
Well, that's right, Rahul. It does come in as a surprise, but if you ask anybody in the BJP, they would say that is something that they were expecting. As far as Basirhat was concerned, if you analyze the results of the recently concluded Lok Sabha elections, the BJP had a very healthy lead in the Basirhat Dakshin segment, and that is reflective of this result. Shamik Bhattacharjee was the candidate there in Lok Sabha as well, and now he is the candidate for the BJP in Basirhat Dakshin. He has won. We are yet to confirm the exact margin of his victory, but BJP, of course, is opening its account in the West Bengal Legislative Assembly. That's what the BJP has been aiming for. Remember, Amit Shah, the BJP president, campaigned here in Chaurangi as well, and there is a very stiff fight that is happening between the Trinamool Congress and the BJP, even in Chaurangi constituency. As far as Basirhat goes, after 5 rounds, we saw that the Trinamool Congress had a lead of over 18,000 votes. But even as the counting proceeded in the later rounds, and when counting was taking place as far as the votes in the urban areas of Bashirhat concerned, we saw how the BJP slowly narrowed the gap, and finally it has emerged as victorious. So BJP opening its account, it's a historic result for the BJP. For the first time, they are going to be having a MLA in the West Bengal Legislative Assembly, and they are also giving a very tough fight, mind you, in Chaurangi, and anything might happen in Chaurangi as well. It's anybody's game here in
Ashok Lahiri has a point he wants to make. Yes.
Indrajit, what I noticed is that Bashirhat had a much larger turnout than Chaurangi. Chaurangi was low turnout, Bashirhat was a high turnout. Is anything been made out of this high turnout in Bashirhat to this BJP victory?
Well, as far as Chaurangi is concerned, it's an urban constituency, it's a bipole, there are several factors. So one can, say that because it's an urban constituency, the interests of urban voters were much less than what we saw in Bashirhat. But Bashirhat clearly was a much more polarized vote. It's on the Indo-Bangladesh border. Illegal immigration from Bangladesh is a very important issue there, and the turnout was around 80%, 79.59% as far as I can remember. But it was not so as far as the Chaurangi constituency is concerned, simply because of the fact that it's an urban area, urban electorate, and it's a bipole.
Victors of this bipole result helping the Congress come back with a bang in Rajasthan. Remember, all these four were BJP held seats. Remember also that assembly elections in Rajasthan were held only about a year ago. To be able to reverse the trend so dramatically is indeed a significant achievement for the Congress in Rajasthan. What do you think, Dr. Lahiri, swung it for the Congress in this fashion in Rajasthan?
See, Rajasthan, I think one thing that happened, I must say, is Sachin Pilot going there. It was a different style of campaigning. It was not election rallies when national leaders were speaking. It was Sachin Pilot and his people going to the, as he explained, going to the villages, going door to door, that campaign. Second, it's a BJP government, and the people thought, I think, that let's send a warning signal to BJP that you have to deliver. We are not changing the government. These bipoles are not going to determine the fate of the government. But what it is going to do is to send a, what is it called, a warning shot across the bow of the ship.
Now, it's interesting that you say that, because these results are also being tracked very closely by the Shiv Sena. They're in the midst of a deadlock on seat sharing ties with the BJP, and Sudhanshu Mittal from the BJP is with us on this broadcast. We're seeing with the reverses for the BJP in Uttar Pradesh, the Shiv Sena, which has a very close eye on these results, saying, see, we told you the BJP is getting carried away. Your real strength is not the same as your assumed strength, giving Uddhav Thackeray a big leg in just before the big discussion with Amit Shah.
Rahul, I don't think bilateral talks are undertaken in those considerations. The by-election results of Rajasthan certainly has left all of us very surprised, because Vasundhara Raje Scindia's style of governance had shifted from Jaipur to basically all the divisional headquarters. She was carrying her government there, meeting people, trying to look at local problems and do a immediate solution to their local aspirations. So
why didn't it work? Have you been able to apply your mind, Sudhanshu, on that crucial question? No. Vasundhara in her second term is doing much better than in her first. She is actually taking governance out from the state headquarters of Jaipur to the district headquarters to rural areas. Why then is the BJP losing on 3 of the 4 seats they earlier held?
I mean, it certainly is a surprise. See, as far as one of the seats was concerned, where Digambar Singh, who had earlier lost in the Vidhan Sabha, he was shifted to the other seat. That was still expected that he might not pull through. But losing 3 out of the 4 when a government is sincerely working for people is certainly a big shock, surprise. It's an eye-opener. It's, as rightly said, it's a pointer towards the disappointment in a section of people, and we have to very seriously ponder over that. Having said that, I do not think it has any bearings in the discussions we are having in Maharashtra vis-a-vis our seat sharing.
That's what you would like to believe,
arrangement,
but that's
with
because
Shiv
you're
Sena.
not from the Shiv Sena. The Shiv Sena, of course, will have a completely different take on it. The reality of the bi-poll results, Javed, is taken together, all of them indicate since May that there have been reverses for the BJP from Uttarakhand to Karnataka to Bihar, now Uttar Pradesh. Just add those pictures together, it doesn't look very rosy for the BJP.
Yes, and it also underlines the fact
But
that
Rahul, one more. Rahul,
Let Javed make his point. I'm coming back to you, Sudhanshu, in just a moment. Javed.
I think one big factor was, and it underlines that, is the Narendra Modi factor. He is the one who tilted the scales decisively in favor of the BJP at the national level. They were fed up of the Congress and they wanted a change. They wanted a decisive leader. Narendra Modi was able to project that, and he won a thumping majority. In the states, it's a different story. Narendra Modi is not contesting there. The BJP is out on its own, and therefore, unless you have state leaders, people who can rally the electorate of the state, you will not cut much ice. It's the Sakshi Maharajas, the Maneka Gandhis, and the Yogi Adityanaths are not people who.
Stay with me.
the electorate
Akhilesh
of UP will-
Yadav, the triumphant Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, is speaking. Let's listen in.
क्या बात अरे तुम लोग अच्छा ये बताओ अच्छा दिन अच्छी बात अच्छा परिणाम आ रहा हो और बातें आप लोग कौन सी करना चाहते हो अरे अच्छा ये बताओ कभी कभी आपने भी बहुत नुकसान किया है अच्छा बदायूं में फ्री चलाया आपने हमें लेकिन हम आभार प्रकटेंगे जनता का कि जनता ने ऐसे वक्त पे समाजवादियों की मदद की है और जिस रास्ते पे समाजवादी पार्टी उत्तर प्रदेश को ले जाना चाहती है और पहले दिन से समाजवादी पार्टी ने कोशिश की है कि विकास और खुशहाली का रास्ता अपनाएं और लगातार उस दिशा में समाजवादी पार्टी ने काम किया है और जनता के बीच में मैं आपको विश्वास दिला सकता हूं कि ये परिणाम आने के बाद समाजवादी पार्टी पूरी जिम्मेदारी से विकास और खुशहाली के रास्ते को आगे बढ़ाने का काम समाजवादी पार्टी करेगी।
रात को आपने मैसेज दिया था कि ये परिणाम आपको आने के लिए
वो इसलिए दिया था कि ये ज़माना ट्विटर का भी है जो लोग रात में नहीं सोते हैं उन्हें सबसे पहले मैसेज देते हैं तो आपने कितने बजे पढ़ा था
जैसे ही आया था 4 मिनट बाद
तो धन्यवाद अभी कह पाना मुश्किल है
बिजली में बोल दीजिए
That's Akhilesh Yadav. He, of course, is delighted with the BJP leading on only 3 of the seats which they held earlier. The 11 seats were all held by the BJP or its ally, the Apna Dal. The SP making significant reverses, and especially important in the context of the fact that in the Lok Sabha elections that happened recently, most of these BJP MLAs became MPs. So they were won by the BJP as recently as May, and now it's been a complete turnaround.
All of them, actually.
Yes.
All of them. I think UP is going to lead BJP to really introspect in a big way. But whether the campaigning issues were right, whether the leaders that they projected was right, and what they should do to improve their performance in the next election. And I think the SP would not do as well if a general election were to be held for the Vidhan Sabha, particularly because BSP would also be there. This time it was almost like a bipolar fight between BJP and SP.
Okay.
What would happen if BSP came in? So it was SP, BSP and BJP. It's a
And it
different
shows
question.
if the BSP is not in the race, if the BSP vote is not getting split, and if it's essentially a SP versus BJP fight, it's not as easy for the BJP as it was in May when the opposition vote got split 3 ways between the SP, the BSP and the Congress. That made life
But there is an
easier
implicit
for the
assumption
BJP.
there, Rahul, which I said and which you rightly pointed out. The question is, do the BSP votes, the Dalit votes, go to SP or does it go to BJP? So the absence of BSP.
I don't think
Okay,
it's
we just got Derek O'Brien saying that in urban Chaurangi, the AITC, that's the Trinamool Congress, has won by 10,000 votes up from the May elections. He says in Bashirat, where they trailed by 32,000 votes in May, they lost now by just 1,000. Derek O'Brien trying to find some glimmer of hope in the fact that they've actually lost one seat and they picked up one of the two seats where bypolls have been held. We're getting word that in Rajasthan, Nasirabad, the BJP is demanding recounting. This is significant because this is where the Congress has done well. The BJP is demanding recounting in the Nasirabad seat in Rajasthan. Remember, of the 4 seats where elections were held, 3 of those the Congress is leading on, 1 has been won by the BJP. The BJP is now demanding recounting in Nasirabad. Gaurav Sawant is joining us from Vadodara. In Vadodara, of course, the BJP candidate, the deputy mayor from that seat, has won and won quite emphatically, but the winning margin is not as impressive as Modi's margin, which was 5.7 lakhs. That's been significantly eroded, Gaurav.
The voting itself was very low compared to the voter turnout last time when Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as the Prime Ministerial candidate, when Narendra Modi was contesting these elections. The BJP, while it's celebrating the victory in Vadodara, by BJP standards, they're saying it's an impressive victory, 3.2 lakhs. But they're extremely disappointed and concerned by the dent that the Congress has succeeded in making in the BJP bastion. All 9 assembly seats were held by BJP. The Congress denting 2, leading in 1. So that's a major cause for concern for the BJP. The Congress leaders we've been speaking to here, they say this is a simple sign that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's popularity is waning in Gujarat, even in Gujarat. On the other hand, what we are being told by the BJP is that these are local issues, local elections, reflection on party candidates. At most, it's a reflection on Chief Minister Anandiben Patel. Does not go all the way up to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But this is a serious cause for concern for the BJP. And despite not doing all that well all over, the Congress has reason to celebrate in Gujarat.
Well, the BJP says don't link this with Prime Minister Modi. That doesn't quite fly in the context of the responses we saw after the Dusu student elections, where the BJP won all 4 seats were won by the ABVP, and everyone immediately credited that to the huge Modi wave that was still supposedly sweeping the capital. The response cannot change in relation to the result, and that too within a week. The big story this morning is coming from Uttar Pradesh, where the BJP appears to have grossly miscalculated its strategy. Out of the 11 assembly seats previously held by the BJP and its ally, the Apna Dal, the BJP is trailing in 8 of those seats. The Samajwadi Party chief, who saw this as a battle of prestige, is leading currently in 8 seats that were up for polls. Out of the 11 seats, a majority of them had a Muslim electorate of 25% or more. The BSP abstaining from these elections seems to have ensured that the Muslim vote did not get fractured and went to the SP instead. But we still need to ascertain exactly which way the Dalit vote went and the extent to which it got fractured. But what is very obvious from these results is, like in Bihar, if in Uttar Pradesh as well, there is a direct face-off between the BJP and a principal opposition, then the battle is much tougher for Prime Minister Modi's party than it would be if the opposition vote is getting split. And therein lies the germ of an anti-Modi idea. Do you think parties like the BSP and the SP, Dr. Lahiri, will be able to leave their personal ego aside, come together on an anti-Modi alliance, or do you think that's too difficult to achieve?
I think it will be difficult, but I'm surprised how things change, how fast things change. Back in 1977, the talk was, can all the parties combine against the Congress to defeat the Congress? Now it has already started, can the other parties combine to defeat the BJP? But as we have seen from the Janata experiment, bringing different parties which till yesterday were fighting against each other on the same platform, and to make them fight a common enemy within quotes, is a difficult proposition. For example, even Nitish Kumar and Sri Lalu Yadav's combination was a difficult one, and now to bring SP, BSP and RJD, JDU, Congress, all of them together will not be an easy task, but in politics, nothing is
Akhilesh in fact took a pot shot at the media when he spoke just a short while ago, saying that aapne hame bahut nuksan pahunchaya, you saw, we saw what you did in Badayu and we are winning despite the media campaign. He truly has been in for a tough time for the past several weeks, finally having something to smile about, and he was beaming when he spoke to journalists in Lucknow a short while ago.
लेकिन हम आभार प्रकटेंगे जनता का कि जनता ने ऐसे वक्त पे समाजवादियों की मदद की है और जिस रास्ते पे समाजवादी पार्टी उत्तर प्रदेश को ले जाना चाहती है और पहले दिन से समाजवादी पार्टी ने कोशिश की है कि विकास और खुशहाली का रास्ता अपनाएं और लगातार उस दिशा में समाजवादी पार्टी ने काम किया है और जनता के बीच में मैं आपको विश्वास दिला सकता हूं कि ये परिणाम आने के बाद समाजवादी पार्टी पूरी जिम्मेदारी से विकास और खुशहाली के रास्ते को आगे बढ़ाने का काम समाजवादी पार्टी करेगी.
The Samajwadi Party jumping to conclusions, suggesting that this is a positive endorsement of the governance in Uttar Pradesh, which it isn't. This is simple electoral arithmetic. The BSP abstaining ensures that Muslim votes don't get split in areas mostly dominated by the Muslims. In each of those seats, Muslims are dominant players, up to 25% of the voting population. That vote in May got split. The moment it consolidates in favor of the SP, the entire dynamic in Uttar Pradesh changes, and that's what we're seeing, very similar to what happened in Bihar, where there was an open alliance. This time, even though there wasn't an open alliance, that worked in favor of the SP against the BJP. That is the reality, not what Naresh Agarwal and Akhilesh Yadav would like to believe in.